So, from our correspondent Desmond Aggor, ICT education in Alavanyo is being hampered because they do not have the requisite materials to study for it. Let's go for that report.
In the rural community of Alavanyo Aggor, in the Hoho municipality of the Volta region, teachers face a daunting task teaching information and communication technology without essential tools like computers. Isaac Akroma, the ICT teacher at the Alavanyo Aggor basic schools, demonstrates his teaching methods under these conditions. Without access to computers, he is forced to improvise by drawing computer parts on the blackboard and creating makeshift models from cardboard, trying to teach students who have never seen or touched a real computer. However, this improvisation falls far short in providing students with the technical skills needed to succeed in an increasingly digital world.
If we lack a computer lab, it means we don't have the accessories. We don't even have a computer itself and other tools to teach the kids when we are lecturing them in class. There are no computers. We have to improvise. We sometimes use cutting to design a computer, or we send them to other schools where they have the ICT lab, and that happens once in an academic year. Drawing the parts of a computer on the board because we don't have the computer to show to the kids, so we have to draw to tell them this is how it looks, and when you see it somewhere, you know this is a part of a computer.
Mr. Akoma appealed for support to help the school acquire computers.
This is also making the students not to be abreast with the current technologies that are coming into the system. And sometimes when they see teachers holding certain things, they behave like they've never seen it before. But at least they are supposed to know certain things in computing. Appealing to stakeholders in the society, the government, and everybody watching and listening to me to come to our aid.
The lack of electricity in the school further exacerbates the situation. Teachers who own laptops face additional challenges as they are unable to charge their devices on the school ground. Additionally, they contend with other issues such as relying solely on blackboards and the lack of teacher accommodation, which forces them to travel long distances to work.
Teaching with the blackboard cannot be compared to teaching with the formica board and then the marker. So that one is preferred than the blackboard. The blackboard, the dust and those things, they are very harmful to the system and then to the body. So it's made the student not even see. Sometimes when you write on the board, they can't even see it well. And it's not all the students that will be able to voice it, to say that's what they are reading, madam, I can't see it well. Some will just keep quiet. Whatever they have seen, that's what they will write. Teachers posted to Alavanyo, some of them denying posting because of the condition of the teaching in the school. And so most of us who are even here, we travel all the way from Hawaii to Alavanyo every day to teach, because there's no accommodation in the town for us to get accommodation and then stay in the town to teach. So we take car or motorbike. Myself, I take motorbike from Hawaii every day to Alavanyo, every day in and out, to come and teach the students and then go back. It's making life and then teaching very difficult for us here.
In an interview with ChannelOne News, the headmistress, Sikado Nogbe, mentioned that although the school's academic performances is improving, the lack of basic necessities remain a major hurdle, and she called for external assistance.
We don't have library in the school. Even though we have a building, if I get the books, I can set up a library. I have a very big building which is empty. Then we have lights at only the lower primary. And I want to extend the city to the JHS and the upper primary. Then we don't have water too. The school is a bit far from the town, so the learners have to go to town and fetch water. At the middle of instruction or learning, when the water finish, they have to stop teaching and go to town and go and bring water. The laptop the kids have, we don't have lights at the JK's department, which they can use to teach the computer. Even the upper primary too, we don't have light at the upper primary block.
Moreover, many teachers posted to the area declined to report for duty, citing security concerns in Alavanyo, resulting in a teacher shortage in the community schools. However, the Municipal Director of Education, Victor Kokukova, reassured the public, stating that the area is safe and encouraged teachers to report to their assigned school.
It's a great peace in Alavanyo. The people are peace-loving. The erroneous idea that the war between Alavanyo and Nkunya is still happening. No, there's nothing like that. We said 24 teachers out of the few that we have. to augment staffing in the Alavanyo school communities. Currently, we have 10 schools and two senior high or second cycle institutions in Alavanyo. Yes, so there's peace in Alavanyo. Teachers who are having the erroneous idea about the war is no more. There's peace in Alavanyo. My teachers should stay in Alavanyo and do the work effectively.
Walanyo Chekpo, the NDC parliamentary candidate for Hohwe constituency, spoke to ChannelOne News, addressing the educational challenges in the municipality. He promised that if elected, he would ensure that schools lacking technological resources receive the necessary material.
7 basic schools in the constituency. Our plan is each of the schools to have a computer lab, and that's a focus, what we are going to focus on in our first 2 years in office. All the schools need to have a computer lab.
So our correspondent Desmond Aggor is live via Zoom to discuss further the situation at the Alavanyo Basic School. Desmond, hello?
Yeah, Eno, good
Hi,
morning.
Desmond. Good morning. How are you doing?
Fine, thank you, Eno. How are you
Happy
doing?
Sunday.
Oh, happy Sunday.
And you're welcome to Sunday breakfast. This is your first time here, right?
Yes, please, this is my first time.
It's great to have you. So tell us how you found out about this situation at the Alavanyo Basic School.
All right. Good morning, Eno. Good morning, Chief. So the Alavanyo Aggor Basic School is one of the several schools in the Alavanyo communities. Alavanyo is made up of about 10 communities, and it's located in the Hohwe municipality of the Volta region. And since we've been here in the Volta region, we know about some of these schools. So I had the opportunity to just visit the school and check on them to see how things are going. Fortunately for me, when I got there, a teacher was teaching ICT, which you saw in the report, and situations were not good. I saw him drawing on the board to just demonstrate to students, his pupils, how a computer look like and how the parts of computer also look like. And it's very disheartening to know that schools just close to them have ICT labs, they have good computers, but just some 15 minutes drive from Hohwe, which is the municipal capital, the Alavanyo Aggor basic school pupils have to know or get to know what a computer is through the blackboard or by drawing on the blackboard for them. So we decided to talk to the teachers, who confirmed that yes, they don't have access to this facility. They don't have access to computers. They don't have ICT labs. Also, they don't have electricity on campus. The electricity is just connected to some part of the campus, and the JHS block doesn't have electricity. So even if teachers who have laptops come to school with their laptops, charging it becomes a problem. And it's also further makes it difficult for them to also at least do some practical works with their laptops for the students to see what or how to go about the computer.
Right. So I see the teacher drawing the keyboard on the blackboard. So this is a normal phenomenon for them. So the children have never seen a computer or the major components, and yet they're expected to compete or sit down for the same exam with people during BECE, with other students during BECE. If you spoke to some of the students, what were their thoughts on this?
Well, I spoke to some of the students off camera. They told me they once a year go to an SHS in the Alavanyo community.
Once a
where
year?
They are, yes, once a year to be taught the ICT practicals. And this is very bad, given that they also have to sit together with their counterparts in other parts of the country who are privileged enough to have the resources. So going to a senior high school, not in your community even, is another challenge for them. Getting a car from their community to the senior high school, it's a difficult situation for them since they are not having any bus on campus. So they have to go to town to hire or charter a bus for them, convey the students to the senior high school. let me say once a year, just once a year, and it's disheartening. It's very disheartening. Teachers are complaining, students are complaining, and one thing too is the teachers, as you can see, the teachers have to draw on a blackboard, not even on a marker board. So it's also injurious to the teachers as well, as they say they have to inhale the dust of the chalk every time they write on the board or draw on the board. So so teachers are also complaining about the use of the blackboard in this very modern world we are now. The teachers still using a blackboard. It's not the best. And the teachers also complain to me that some students are not good, or their eyesight are not good. So anytime they write on the board, they just sit down unconcerned. The students don't even know what's happening to them until they have to ask, are you seeing what is on the board, before they say, no, we are not seeing it. And some have to be taken to the hospital to work on their eyes or to be given glasses. So all this is disheartening to the students, and especially the teachers who have to bear the cost of all this.
Desmond, I see some of the footages from the said school where you did this report. And you know, my concern also went to even the desks we have in the classrooms, right? Because I see about 4 pupils sharing a desk that would ordinarily be meant for 2. Did they talk of any other challenges they face in the school, be it furniture? Because you talk about the blackboard, right, and the concerns by the teachers. But are there enough furniture in the school such that if the class is at full capacity, everyone would have a seat in there, or some will have to sit on the floor?
Well, so it depends. Some classes are fortunate enough to have adequate furniture, and so they sometimes sit 2 in a desk, sometimes 1. But in other classes, especially the lower classes, they have to sit sometimes 3 or 4. But it's also good to know that the municipal directorate is doing its best. They've provided some, and then they've provided some furniture to the school just recently. So it's helping to augment the challenge there. Also, they don't have access to water on the campus. So students and teachers have to fetch water from their various homes to the school each and every day. Especially these children who play during break times, washing their hands before going back to class is a challenge. So they have to go to the community, fetch water, and bring to the campus every day or every break to wash their hands, to eat, to do any other activities on campus. Also, teachers are also complaining about the unavailability of bungalows in the community. Some teachers travel all the way from Hohwe, and from Hohwe to Alavanyo, although it's not too far, the road is very bad. The road is very bad, and some have to use motorbikes, and moving on this stretch is very dangerous to them. Coming to campus every day, the addresses get very, very bad. So those who wear white, it turns brown before they get to campus. So they are also appealing to authorities to at least build some bungalows in the community for them. And this also scaring teachers away, because teachers say they don't want to be traveling those long distances every day to school, whilst they are not even being given anything to supplement how they come to school every day. So teachers posted to the community, most of them don't accept posting and don't come to the school. So teacher deficit is also another challenge in the school.
Wow. Let's come back to the main focal point of your report, where you talk about the fact that there are no computers in the school where children can go and see for themselves how it functions. Is that to say that if you go to the administrative offices of the school, there are no computers there as well for teachers and even the headmaster to use in administrative work?
Jude, so the funny thing is this: they don't even have light, they don't have electricity, access to electricity is unavailable. So they don't have electricity, they won't even have computers. So yes, they don't have computers at the offices as well. Teachers rely on the laptops they have, and charging it also is a problem, as they don't have access to electricity. So most of them just abandon or leave their laptops in the house before coming to school every day.
Is the power problem in the school just limited to the school, or it's a area-wide problem? Is it something that is very common in different parts of the Alavanyo community?
Well, no, it's not common in the Alavanyo community. It's just something peculiar to the school. And it will also interest you to know that there's the Chachadu water hydroelectric generation in Alavanyo, one of the Alavanyo communities. So it's frustrating to know this. And whilst there's a generating source in the community, getting electricity to this very school is a challenge. So teachers are still appealing to authorities, the GridCo, ECG, to at least connect them to the grid to ensure that they are able to bring their laptops to school, and also appealing to benevolent persons to at least donate some used computers to them to be able to teach this students practically.
You know, in your report, and let's just digress a little. In your report, I saw you spoke to one of the educational heads who made the point that in the past, the conflict between Alavanyo and the Nkunyes, right, that's ethnic Guans and Alavanyos who are ethnic Ewes, led to people fleeing the town, right, and people not wanting to come in the community to work. We know that in 2017, Parliament began the construction of a military training base on that said disputed land. So just give us just some background. What's the state of that said conflict? Has it been completely resolved in that there are no pockets of clashes anywhere in these two communities?
All right, Chief. So currently there's no conflict in the area. About some 2 months ago, we saw some press release from the Interior Minister giving some curfew or imposing some curfew on some of the communities. But as we talk now, there's no conflict ongoing, and that's also another challenge for the Education Directorate, as teachers posted to the Alavanyo communities especially don't accept posting with the fear of the conflict. But in the talking to the Education Director Victor Cover, he assured the teachers. He assured them that the conflict is no more, so they should accept posting to such communities. And it will also interest you to know that about 10 schools in the Alavanyo communities don't have adequate teachers. So it's affecting teaching and learning in these communities. And with this, the Education Director is
so if I get you correctly, the conflict in the area sets back education in the area, in that people were refusing to accept postings to come and teach as a fear of the conflicts that was ensuing there.
Exactly.
But
exactly.
is this same for other areas? For example, do we have nurses also turn down postings to the area or to come to hospitals there to give care to patients there?
Well, Jude, so the Alavanyo community used to be one of the fearsome communities in the Volta region. Teachers refuse posting, nurses refuse posting. Other governmental institutions or private institutions also refuse posting to those communities. But in recent times, we are seeing a change. I would say with the media and the advocacy being put in place by the Interior Ministry and the communities themselves, people are now seeing that, okay, this has been the issue of the past. So in recent times, these conflicts are no more occurring. So yes, we are seeing some improvement in these areas. Teachers are now accepting posting, although some who are not from the region who don't know about the inside of the conflict still fear coming to the area. Nurses are also accepting posting to the community, and other governmental workers are also accepting posting. But in all, there's still some fear among people, especially those out of the region, accepting posting to such community.
I'm sorry I keep pushing on this, but just to be sure, is there a military post at the boundary or the disputed land right now? And do you think that is contributing to the relative peace we are seeing in the area?
Well, Jude, I'll say yes. There's a military base somewhere in one of the Alavanyo communities or on the disputed land, and yes, this is a great factor in contributing to the peace we are seeing in these two areas, the Alavanyo and the Ipunya. So yes, in all, there's relatively some peace in both towns.
All right. Tell us about stakeholders involved in this. GES, DCEs. What are they saying? How do they intend to help this basic school get lights, computers, so that our students are well prepared for the task ahead and beyond BEC and other things?
Okay, I wasn't able to get the municipal chief executive, but speaking to the director of education in the Hohe municipality, Mr. Victor Hofer, he said to me that yes, plans are in place to bring or to extend electricity to the school. I also spoke to the NDC parliamentary candidate, Thomas Walanyu, who also came in to donate some lights to the community. And whilst donating, he also assured the school of extending power to the school. That's when he's elected. But in the interim, the education director is working very hard to ensure that their problems are solved. Problems being the access to electricity, access to water, and also furniture, and lastly, the access to ICT, the teaching of ICT.
Desmond, do you by any chance have an idea of the pass rate of students in the Alavanyo Basic School when they sit for the BEC? Do you have an idea of their performance in the examinations?
Yes. Yes. So speaking to the headmistress, Madame Sika Nogbe, she said the pass rate is increasing now, although in previous years they were not all that good. She said results are improving. They've seen some improvement, especially from about 56% now. They are heading towards somewhere around 60, 65, and she's of the view and of the hope that by when all these things are given to them, they should be looking somewhere around 90% pass rate.
Right.
Looking at the infrastructure in the school, from your B-rolls that we have, you can even see that teachers don't have, tables or chairs, because this teacher is lecturing with his bag strung around him. Pupils are seated, I think 4-4 on their tables. How do they even write? And if I've noticed, none of them have textbooks in front of them to even try or attempt to draw this keyboard or computer parts in. How, explain that to us. I mean, you were there.
Yeah. So given that this area is a rural area, it's a remote community, parents, this lies with the parents. Parents are not able to afford the necessary materials for their work to school. And it's another challenge for us as well, because although the teachers are doing their best, the education directorate, the assembly is doing its best, it's now lies with the parents to also put in some effort to ensure that their works learn properly in school or are given the best of education with the resources they provide for them. So it's also a challenge.
Do they have the required textbooks?
Yes, they have. They have. Speaking to the teachers, they told me they have some of the textbooks, but not all. So it's a warrant for them as well. But their concern here now is how parents will support the education of their works.
Right. That's one. Thank you so much for the work you're doing in the area and for highlighting these very important areas we've been talking about. But just staying there a little, I just wanted to pick your thoughts. And it's funny, right? Because these same people are expected to write the BEC.
Same BEC.
Yeah, right. With students from Cornerstone International School, Red Church School, Christ the King School,
Let me add my school,
Alpha
Martyrs
Beta
of
International
Uganda.
School, Martyrs of Uganda, right? Martin de Porres, right? And you're wondering, and you go back to the question, do their parents not pay taxes?
They do.
Right? So why
one form or the other.
why should we deny them? And I think, it's important that we talk about the lack of educational equipment and materials in the school. But there's also a bigger problem of not having electricity in the school. Back in the day, we went to schools where we're utilizing our science labs, right? Some of the experiments had to be run with electricity. So for me, I think this country is denying them their right. Right? We shouldn't see it as a privilege anymore. Educating citizens, right, or children who are Ghanaian should not be seen as a privilege. And for me, it is so wrong that we've allowed this to go on for such a long time. It's very unfortunate. And like I said, Desmond, thank you so much for highlighting this very important conversation in your report. So I asked him a question about the conflict that has also plagued the place for a very long time. And you get a sense that people are sharing the area because of the said conflict. It's been around since, if you read around it, it's been around since 1923, we believe, right? When issues about land and border disputes, all of that led to successive and repetitive clashes in the area. But thankfully, that has been resolved now, and they are now dealing with the aftermath of trying to have people come back into the society and contribute to making Alavanyo a better place for everyone, and especially residents there. But I understand we've been joined by the headmistress for the Alavanyo Basic School. Madam, good morning and welcome to Sunday Breakfast on ChannelOne TV.
Good morning. How are you all?
By
Very
God's
well,
grace,
thank
you are
you.
fine. I trust you are doing well yourself.
I'm very fine.
Wow, great. We thank God. I was asking our correspondent in your area about the state of affairs, right? In his report, he mentioned that pupils that didn't have the luxury of learning with a computer, it had to be drawn on the blackboard. And I asked him whether you yourself in your administrative office, whether you've got any of those to do or to use in your work. How are you coping, knowing that a large chunk of the work you do as headmistress is also administrative, right? You have to write letters, you have to print out letters, you have to... So many things you would need a computer to do. How are you keeping up? How are you managing?
Thank you very much. Personally, we were given some laptops recently. I have the laptop I'm using now. But before then, I don't have any computer in my office. I don't have anything. And there's no even light at the office. Even if the battery runs out, I can charge. So I have to carry the things and do it at the cafe, or if I get somebody's laptop, work with. And so recently that we're giving the laptop which I'm using.
Wow.
Yeah.
So you now have laptops you are using, but it's just that you can't use the laptop in the school because you don't have electricity supply there, if I get you correctly.
Yes, please. Yes, please.
Wow. Madam Nogbe, talk to us about the performance, the pass rate of pupils under your care. Because like I was saying, you write a BEC, the circumstances under which you study, you are not too sure about it, right? But these same students will have to sit and write a computer paper in the BEC. Just give us an overview of your past performances during the BEC examinations.
Thank you very much. On this subject matter, I have to commend my teachers. They are doing very wonderful work. Because in the condition like this, they are still trying their best to improvise and teach the learning. Previously, the performance is rising this. We are not falling because every year we increase, even last year, we are 50% in the BEC. And the whole of Alavanyo town, we are the first. We are leading up the post in the Alavanyo sector. My teachers, they are very hardworking. They try as much as possible to improvise for the learners to feel it. So looking at this, if we were to have the things, we even rise to 90 or 100%.
Wow, interesting.
Yeah.
Wow. So you are trying your best under the circumstances, if I get you correctly.
Yes, please. Yes, please.
Wow.
Madam, what are stakeholders involved doing? I'm sure you've repeatedly gone to GES and the MCE to help you out, especially with connection to electricity, so that at least your laptop can probably be used as, sort of a dummy for the students to see what a laptop or even a computer looks like. What are the stakeholders saying? What has been their response or their resolve to make sure that Alavanyo Basic School is connected to the national grid?
Thank you very much. They are all trying their best. They are all trying. The citizens, the Alavanyo Aggor citizens, the opinion leaders, they are doing very well. They do help me with whatever I ask them to do. This computer issue too is on their decks. They are trying how best they can help me secure the computers for the learners. We just finished celebrating our first speech and prize giving day. So the money we're able to realize from the celebration is ongoing to try to connect life to the school. But right now, we don't have any clue of getting laptops. I'm sure by next week or two, there will be lights at the primary and the upper primary. But right now, the problem now that is pending now is the laptop and the computers.
Right. Madam Nogbe, what other peculiar issues, affect your school in terms of textbooks? I mean, you've told us about computers, you've told us about light. What other peculiar issues are in your school?
Okay, we don't have water in the school. There's no water in the school. So the learners have to walk a bit. The town and the school is a bit far to town to fetch water. Sometimes at the middle of instruction, when the water gets finished, I have to let them stop fishing and pick water to town to go and get them water. That's another problem facing in the school. Then textbooks, the government provides some textbooks. And the community, one of the members in the community also gives some of the textbooks which we are managing. And the rest just are seeking some help from the colleagues elsewhere to make teaching and learning easy in the school.
What about washrooms? Are they readily available?
Yes, we have a washroom. Recently, after the celebration of the speech and prize giving day, I was able to construct a washroom. We have washroom in the school.
Madam Nogbe, talk to us about your staff strength. As it stands now, how many teachers are there in your school helping out these kids?
Yes, from KG to JHS, we have 9 teachers. Only 9 teachers.
And to how many pupils? Sorry, so we get it correctly.
We are around 175 learners.
Wow.
From
Some
KG
of the
to
classes
JHS?
have to combine, like KG1 and KG2 is handled by one teacher. Class 2 and class 3, one teacher. Class 4 and class 5, one teacher. Yes, and the JHS2, we don't have teachers for some of the subjects, so we have to share those subjects among themselves. They are managing to teach. Sometimes I do also teach.
Wow. Our correspondent Desmond tells us that previous clashes in the area is partly responsible for the reason why some teachers turn down postings to your school to come around and teach. What do you have to say to people who in the past have refused these postings because of previous situations and circumstances in the area?
Oh, those circumstances that prevent them from coming, it's a thing from the past. Right now, as I'm talking to you, there's a peace in the community. And the community, they are peace-loving people. There are people in the town, they are very loving people. You can be in school, they'll bring you cassava, they'll bring you plantain. They love.
Madam Nogbe,
You're enjoying, oh.
You're enjoying cassava. Wow.
They are peace-loving. Alavanyo people, they are peace-loving people.
Yeah.
So those things that prevent teachers from teaching the things of the past, far away, past things. There's not a military contest to explain me where the border between the Alavanyo and the Nkunyas. So that place, there's peace. You can walk free in town. It's free. There's peace, very good peace in the town.
Wow. You know what? It's interesting. I like the way you talk about how it's become a very peaceful area now, so much that you are getting cassava and
We'll accept postings.
yeah, so I will accept postings and come and pass by one of these days. Wow.
You are welcome.
Madam
You are welcome.
Sika Do Nogbe, thank you so much for your time. And
You are welcome.
thank you for the good job you are doing for pupils and students in Alavanyo Basic School. And please
welcome.
continue your good work. Hopefully in the coming days and weeks, the authorities will pay heed to the need to come and do the needful in the school, provide the necessary power supply that has to be done, and also the necessary and right educational materials. We here will do our best to send the message very loud and clearly on the need to get them to come and do the needful in the constituency. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Our colleague, our colleague Desmond is still on. And Desmond, I'm sure you were following the conversation with Madam Nogbe, who is headmistress for Alavanyo Basic School. I mean, she was essentially reiterating some of the points you were making about the supplies, the state of affairs. But, I just want us to delve into the community a little. And I think the point about the challenges in the school is well. Yeah. But when you go to the community, what are some of the parents saying? What do they tell you with regards to some of the issues that are happening in the area right now?
All right, thank you, Jude. I spoke to some few parents when I went to the school. Yes, they are predominantly farmers, so access to bigger markets has become a challenge for them. The bigger market is the biggest market is in Hohwe, which is the municipal capital, and the road to Hohwe is very bad. So they tell me getting their farm produce to the market is a challenge for them. Some of their farm producers have to go bad on the farm because drivers or those who cut their goods to the market refuse coming to the community with the notion that the roads are not good, and those who even come charge them very high. So getting their farm producers to the market is very high, and is not the best. And also those who come to the community, they also to the community to buy, they also say because they've spent a lot on their cars, maintaining their cars before getting to the community, they are going to buy at a very cheaper rate. So all this is affecting the economic growth of the Alavanyo community.
It's interesting, right? Because you began this conversation by talking about a lack of computer, right? Or a lack of educational material problem in the school. But, it's now segued into general issues about power supply, about water distribution, right? Because you mentioned in your report that teachers now have to carry water in some instances to the school. And now you're talking about the roads, right? So it looks like there's a lot going on, right? So let's maybe we should just deal with the roads bit a little. What is the state of affairs? What is the road network problem like in the area? This is the whole constituency, right?
Yes, this is the whole constituency. The major challenge, or where the road goes very bad, is from Bifegbe to Hohwe Township. From Bifegbe to Alavanyo is okay, it's fairly okay, although there are some potholes on the road. But from Bifegbe to Hohwe Township is the main issue. And the issue starts also from the Afajato South district. Coming from Ho, going to Hohwe, just immediately after the Fume Mountain, the road goes very bad. But this is a road which was constructed some few months prior to the 2020 elections. And just also after some few months, about some 6 or 8 months after the election, the road was very bad.
You know, you guys, I would say you guys enjoyed a lot prior to the 2020 elections, you know, because for the first time we had
so much development.
We saw so much development happen there. People alluded to the fact that for the first time in our democratic practice, or since 1992, the MP for the area was from the New Patriotic Party, something that we had not seen before, right? So are you saying that post-2020, the rate of development in the area has slowed down significantly?
Yes, it has, Jude. It has significantly reduced. Because the people were assured that the roads to be constructed, and some started, so they have high hopes that okay, the inner town roads, the main Hohwe roads will be constructed, the roads from Fume to Hohwe, or even from Asikuma Junction to Hohwe. But now we've seen the Asikuma to Peki to Peve being constructed now, and also from Peve going to Fume, it's also fairly okay. But where it goes bad is from Fume to Hohwe, and also from Hohwe to Akpafu area, Central Kofi Akpafu. Those places are also very bad.
The South area.
The South Enclave, exactly.
Wow.
Exactly.
You know, that's what we could go on and on and on. Maybe we'll get you next time
exactly
where we can talk Hohwe proper and look at all the other issues that are emanating from your area. But thank you so much for your time and for highlighting this really important story. Hopefully, I'm so convinced that after this conversation,
something will be done.
Something will be done. They'll go and do it. If they don't do it, we'll come back and talk about it again. Thank you so much, Desmond.
All right. Yeah, Charlie. Thank you, G. Thank you, Henry.
Wow.
Thank you.
So, Charlie, that'll be the whole story. They say they draw keyboard. Charlie, 2024. I'm not sure what the right words are or how to describe this properly, but we've been left behind. Yeah, we've been left behind very seriously, and
your rate of development in some communities is really nothing to write home about. And then we expect these people to become future leaders, but we are not giving them the adequate, infrastructure, adequate learning tools for them to also, advance. And that is sad. Let's go for a break.
In one breath, we say free SHS, and it's great. See, I should probably say the enrollment is increased, right? There was no other policy initiative that could have done that. But the other challenge to it is that people who criticize us say that government has spent 10 billion Ghana cedis. The last time the minister was in parliament to give the mid-year finance budget review, Adam, he mentioned it. He said they've spent 10 billion Ghana cedis, 9.9, round it up to 10 billion, on 5.8 million students since the policy was brought together. And now we are saying that if you look at the amount of money government has spent, it's much to the neglect of other levels of education. So basic, so kindergarten, so even tertiary, right? But tertiary, you can excuse it a bit. But they've been saying that the foundation has been not well taken care of, right? And this is what we are seeing as the ripple effect in some of these schools. So, of course, we are giving laptops to students in SHSs. It's all part of the free HSS money. We are giving laptops to teachers. As to whether it's been distributed, we don't know. But we are doing e-learning. It's big, right? But those who are going to use these laptops in the SHS, they are for the first time seeing a computer being drawn on the blackboard. So, yes, free SHS is good. But we shouldn't do it at the neglect of those in basic education, right? Because when you neglect them, they won't have the capacity to continue that same level of education when they get to senior high school. So, we really need to review this. It's great. It's increased the enrollment. It's come to help. People have gone to school who they ordinarily wouldn't have. But it shouldn't be at the neglect of basic and kindergarten. And for me, that is why I think the need for a review is very important. But we'll take a break now. We'll come back and delve into the world of sports. But maybe we should go to Alavanyo too, because the cassava and fish and things, So we'll take a quick break. When we are back, we have sports for you. Don't go away.